And welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy is not live in the Ingalls studio. We are live today here at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It is the second day of the NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, not for Kentucky, it's not.
Well,
for Kentucky, it's the first day of the offseason.
Well, what else is new? I mean, over the last 4 or 5 years, that's pretty much the motto.
It's what they
of
do.
John Calipari and the Kentucky Wildcats. Welcome everybody into the program. Of course, all day long, you can come out here and hang out with us here at the Village Porch. Again, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It is the football home. It's just the sports home of the Sportsocracy. Normally,
it's more than my sports home. It's my daily home.
It's your home.
It's my home away from home.
This is where Jeremy spends all those millions of dollars that he makes playing the DraftKings right here.
I also have on a sweet new DraftKings shirt,
which
you
is
can see on the
lovely. I do love the state shirts that the DraftKings has now.
Oh yeah. I got a bunch of them. You've probably got a West Virginia one you're going to inherit because it's a little small on me.
Oh, okay.
It may need to be a XXX.
Well, I will go down that path because it says "Take Me Home," and that is one of my favorite songs of all time.
It does.
So I will.
I wore it
no
last
allegiance to West Virginia other than I like that song by John Denver. Throughout the program today, we'll be keeping you up to date on all of the action in March Madness, as well as talking about the big storylines across the sport. How did your wagering go yesterday with the old DraftKings there, Jeremy? Because mine didn't pan out.
Oh, I mean, I had a lot of good ones. Duquesne was good. That went nicely. McNeese, not so much.
Nah.
That was over early.
Yeah.
I guess when one of your non-conference wins is against the Mississippi College of Women, that you should probably take their record with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. Seriously, one of their wins was against the Mississippi College of Women.
Which is still hilarious to me, but times they are a-changing. I'm not here to assign.
You do
so,
you.
You do whatever.
You do you. Whatever it is you want to do, you do that.
How about the Sanford Bulldogs?
Well, I mean, Kentucky's in trouble. Or not Kansas. When you lose your best player right before the tournament, mm-hmm. and you've really got one feller that can really score, although they scored a lot. They just let Sanford score a lot too, which was yes. If I had Kansas going really far, which I don't, I would be really alarmed by that.
I had them losing that game yesterday.
I did not have them
that's
losing
where
yesterday.
That's where I screwed up. Like I did the same thing that I always do with my brackets. Like I went down and I was like, I picked out the upsets that I like, and then I went, you know what? There's usually one. There's usually one bracket that goes completely haywire, and I thought it was going to be that one. And I had McNeese winning. I had Sanford winning. I had them two playing in the second round and Sanford going on to the Sweet 16. So I'm already down a Sweet 16 team, which, not the greatest.
I haven't even checked my bracket on ESPN.com.
But we haven't had anybody lose that I had going very far in this tournament.
I haven't either.
Oakland,
so in my ESPN Challenge bracket, I went 11-5 yesterday, and I did not lose a team that advances past the next round. So
that's good.
I take that as a win. It's not Bijan Robinson good, but it's pretty good.
Bijan, what did he do?
Bijan Robinson's leading the ESPN tournament bracket challenge.
Is he really?
He has a perfect bracket. He was 16-0 yesterday.
Wow.
Somehow DraftKings got wind of it, and they just hammered it.
I was not getting anywhere close to that. I started the day 0-2 yesterday and went, well, this was fun. Let's just try again next year.
We have our first one of these of the day.
Old Super Chat.
It's from our buddy Soaring Eagle. I had Kentucky losing the next round in my Sportsocracy bracket, so that's fine. Nevada, on the other hand, ruh-roh. He apparently had Nevada going quite a ways.
Yeah, they're not one of the ones that I saw this year that I thought was going to make a deep run in the tournament. Jeremy said this to me yesterday when we were filling out last-minute brackets before all the action started. Why is this year going to be so chalky?
So unbelievably chalky. I heard so many national pundits talking about the number of the combined seeds. I have a wager that it's under, I think the line was 13.5. And I feel so good about that. It's ridiculous. Even North Carolina, that played pretty terribly yesterday, they looked so convincing that I don't see a path that they're even challenged until the Elite Eight.
Right.
I mean, you play Michigan State tomorrow.
Which is not anything.
Well, it's nothing to sneeze at except for the fact Michigan State doesn't have anybody that can do what is that thing that's so important? Score.
Mm-hmm.
You do need somebody that can score, and they don't really have that. They pass real good.
Which is
it's kind of like the guy that goes to a bar, much like the Village Porch, which is where we're live from right now. That's a tease, and I'm getting better at that. Buys all the drinks, and then at the end of the night goes, I'm going to shake your hand and wish you the best of luck. Well, you did everything right until you didn't, and that's Michigan State.
Yeah. North Carolina, Michigan State's just not one that I'm scared of.
You should.
There are certain programs now that I'm not scared of.
Kentucky.
In college basketball.
Kentucky should be one of them.
Thank you for jumping on the segue there.
Sorry. Sorry.
Michigan State's one. Kentucky's one. Who else falls into that category?
Gonzaga.
I think you're right.
I am not worried about Gonzaga in the least.
No.
Gonzaga, Kansas will be a war of attrition of who can mess this up less.
Purdue's
fine.
Virginia.
They have one gigantic sloth that nobody seems to be able to stop. And then it's a bunch of dudes that look like they should be doing my taxes.
Virginia falls into this category.
Oh, God, I got into a discussion about Virginia yesterday of why is it going this way? Well, because who with any real talent wants to play in that system?
Precisely. The problem that they have, there are several problems that some of the big programs have right now. They are stuck in a place where they can't do anything. You can't really make any change to get better coaching-wise because you are never going to find somebody that's better than the option that you have. Kentucky's in this position, and Virginia's in this position.
Are you talking about in terms of the coach or?
Yeah, I'm talking about the position that this school is in because right now I don't think, you're a year-in, year-out threat to win the national title the way you play basketball. I get that Virginia just won one like 4 years ago, whatever that was.
They didn't mean to.
Well,
that was really more atrophy if there was not that team wasn't special.
They were special.
That team was good at what they
score.
did. Well, look, here's the problem. I mean, I hate to throw I played this game, I coached this game. There's one huge problem with Virginia, and there's one huge problem with Kentucky, and it's the same thing in reverse. Virginia tries to get these guys into a system that takes forever to implement. So you get to a position like this where you don't have guys that you really trust. And next thing you know, you get into a game like they got into with Colorado State, you can't score. You're running through the motions, but nobody wants to be the one to pull the trigger.
No.
Because you're getting guys that are not A's on their AAU teams. So you're not getting the guy that's really comfortable with taking the shot. Conversely, Kentucky has the exact opposite problem.
Exactly.
They have 5 A's at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants to take the shot, but there's only one basketball. And so you don't have enough time in 7 months to get all these guys into the concept of playing within the system. And I'll be honest with you, what Calipari runs has been dumbed down to such a point that I can't even really recognize it. If you go back to what he had with Derrick Rose when he was at Memphis, even John Wall early on here at Kentucky, these offenses, they don't look like that. That didn't do anything last night that even was in the ballpark of what I saw those guys do. Now, I don't necessarily think you're getting the same level of player. That's a much broader topic that I think you'll see play out, and it played out last night. Mm-hmm. What was his name? What's his name? The Oakland guy that is basically the living embodiment of Jeremy Greene.
Jack Golke.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wanted to say Zach Greinke, and I knew that was
wrong. It is not Zach Greinke. It is Jack Golke. By the way, my favorite stat ever, he attempted 355 field goals this year. 8 of them were inside the 3-point line.
8 of them?
That dude is my kind of dude.
He's his team gets mine. Let's go.
No, he's card. I mean, I feel like we should send him shirts. You are the card-carrying captain the team gets mine.
Well, look, and when you're hot, and you're going to keep shooting. I mean, he hit 7 threes in the first half, and I thought it was hilarious. I know you don't really listen to the TV, to the play-by-play and all of that. But I was sitting there, and I was listening, and I swear to God, I wish I had a nickel for every time they said, oh, this could be real trouble for Kentucky. They said it from the beginning of the game until 10 seconds to go. We're like, oh, this could be real trouble for Kentucky. Like, you're always expecting the talent to overcome the scheme for the other team.
System will always beat talent.
Yes, you cannot rely on that in college basketball. There might have been a time that you could and still win, but not now when you have all of these super seniors and the veterans.
Well,
Jack Golke's 45 years old.
I'm pretty sure. I actually think we played against each other. He looks vaguely familiar.
I think he went to high school with Uncle Drew.
Armando Baycott graduated the year before me.
He did.
The high school.
Yeah.
And then he went to Carolina. He's been there ever since. But you look at a system the way that Oakland, for example, ran it last night. You're always going to have an issue when you when you have a team like Kentucky that has no discernible system whatsoever. You've got 5 dudes that just roll out a basketball and we'll figure it out. And that's why Kentucky is where they are. And I'll be honest with you, if I was Kentucky, I would be – I feel like Calipari at some point has to look at himself and go, I'm hurting myself every single year.
Yes.
Kentucky has to look at it and go, we can't keep winning this way. We've got to make a change of some kind.
You're not going to. And here's the problem, is that Kentucky and Virginia, I see them as linked because I believe that they have the same problem, as you said, only on opposite sides of the coin. See, Tony Bennett goes after those great, 3-and-D guys, except for he's forgotten about the 3 part. Like, he hasn't had one of those guys since, Cal Guy.
Well, I mean, you're missing a huge element of Virginia. You got to remember, you still have to get 18-year-old kids on board.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Virginia, which is eye broccoli, and tell me how you're going to get a high-level kid to go, yeah, I want to play that way. Because I'm trying to get to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at his track record. Kyle Guy that you said, DeAndre Hunter, who was super talented and has gone to the league and been absolutely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so predictable because what you do well is not an NBA skill set. And then you get to a certain point where these 18-year-old kids are just looking at it going, I'm not going to make the NIL money at Virginia. No. Because Virginia does not invest the money into athletics because they have so many political and things like that they put their endowments and things like that, grants and things like that into. They're not a school where people look at it backwards. Virginia is doing damage to Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett's not doing damage to Virginia.
Really?
You can win that way. And now it's every 4 years when you have a group of seniors that have been together forever that are so comfortable with each other, they know what each other are thinking.
Yeah.
But you can win that way. You can't win in the NIL space at Virginia. It's not possible. I don't care who you have. I don't care if John Calipari left and went to Virginia from Kentucky. You will not win there.
Mm-hmm. You think it would look markedly different if Tony Bennett were the coach of Louisville?
I do. I do, because I think he would get high-level players that the system is slow, but it doesn't have to be slow. It's slow because I don't have the athletes to contend with you athlete for athlete. I am smarter than you. I'm going to out-scheme you, and that's how I beat you. Mm-hmm. Now, if I've got 5 blue chippers, then I can still run that same offense and score a lot of points and beat your brains out because I'm not going to let you score. But you can't do that at Virginia. I think it's a Virginia problem, not a Tony Bennett problem.
Yeah. I don't think you can find that many high-level athletes.
That's a problem.
That can play Tony Bennett ball.
Oh, you definitely could. I don't know that you can get them to agree to play it.
There you go. There it is.
You can definitely find it.
I'm sure you could find a guy who, there is. I'm not saying that the two-way player is extinct at the high school level. It's just real hard to find that because playing defense ain't sexy, and that's one of the things that you're going to have to do to play for Tony Bennett. And he gets locked into this. He's locked into his scheme, what I can get, and I can't compete with the bigger schools when it comes to that, if I go up against a team like Kentucky who can run the floor on me, it's almost like they need to combine the two schools. We need to take John Calipari and Tony Bennett and make them one cohesive coach.
So you mean they need to be Gonzaga, where I can get high-level players, but they still buy into my scheme?
Maybe.
It's funny you said that.
Maybe so.
We got to take a break, but I do have a philosophy that I think you can use in wagering the remaining 47 games in this tournament and make it profitable. Mm-hmm. And I noticed it yesterday. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I thought about it overnight, and I've developed it into a theory.
All right, we have a theory on how to maximize your winnings over the rest of the NCAA tournament. We'll be back right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are coming to you live from the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It is it's the basketball home today of the Sportsocracy. Come on down and join us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right.
A Festivus for the rest of us.
Thank you, sir. 30 seconds. Right you are, and we are live on location today at 51 North Merriman Avenue. Sportsocracy right here on 92.9 FM, 880 AM 1400. And, of course, you can see us everywhere on the YouTubes. Looks much better than the last time we were here. I like being over here in the corner away from the sun.
I like it better over there because
you
got a little sun, but it is much easier to light over here.
That's what I'm saying. That's the cameras. That's all. You know, I love this place. They got the big garage doors at one end of the building. You got televisions on every corner. We've got Florida Atlantic and Northwestern just tipped off the action today in the second day of the NCAA tournament. The first round of the tournament going to wrap up tonight. A full, 12 and a half hours of basketball action, and we won't be here for all. I won't be here for all of it. He might be here for all of it, but we will be hanging out after the show today. So come on by. Hey, while we're here, it's a perfect spot for lunch. They got great food here. They got great beverage specials as well. And come on down, have your lunch, watch some basketball. Come on and see us, and then after work, you can come back and hang out with us and have a couple of brews.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And if you've got a car with one of those sweet pads in the back that keeps stains from soaking in, you can take Tank to the hospital after I stab him for shaking his leg.
Oh, sorry. Am I?
Yeah, he's literally shaking the entire table.
I can't help it. I got that restless leg thing.
I got a knife over here. You ever see Talladega Nights when Will was trying to convince people he was paralyzed? That's getting ready to happen to you.
Can't help it. Can't help it. You know what else I can't help? I can't help but having fun on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It is the big tournament, and it's the time for you to make some money. Jeremy's got some tips for you coming up in just a second on how you can make money on the rest of the tournament. But DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR, is now live in North Carolina, and you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime, anywhere, right here in the Tar Heel State with DraftKings. And for a limited time, new customers who sign up with the promo code WPEK and bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. They have the best features, same game parlays, player props, live betting, which, okay, so Kansas didn't help me out with the live betting last night, but maybe next time. Fast and easy payouts right at your fingertips. It's all happening on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download it now using the code WPEK and bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code WPEK. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license. So, Kansas went up by 16.
Yes.
On Samford in the first half yesterday. And I went, ooh, look at how much plus money I could get if I just juice up that line. And then buckyball happened in the second half, and it didn't go my way.
What, you thought Kansas was going to blow them out?
I did. They went up 16, and I went, this is going to be a 30-point blowout. It's all over.
All right, I feel like this is a good time to say that I believe I should be your sponsor for sports wagering. Like, before you should call me and ask me if that's a good idea, because I would have told you this is a terrible idea.
That's a terrible idea.
A team that full court presses you the entire game against a team that had – no, not here. Yeah, no. I actually had Samford against the spread. I didn't have them in the money line because I had no belief they were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the number just –
you.
it got dumb. After Kansas went up by so much, the number got to like 22.5 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And I went, that's the easiest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's kind of how I felt about Duquesne.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to, Stephen Towner, the way it fits, and I like this hat a lot.
Yeah. It is a very nice hat. I will say that. It's
it's almost as sweet as my "You Died of Dysentery" DraftKings Sportsbook shirt.
So as we were going to the break, you said you have a theory on how the people can make more money in the rest of the tournament here.
Well, just look at who won yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been a trend for a really long time. So, obviously, let's take out the 1 seeds. The 1s and the 2s, this was not a year that a 1 or a 2 was going to lose. I didn't think. I don't think there's going to be a 3 that loses, to be really frank with you. And the 2 blowouts we saw there outside of Kentucky, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It really lends itself to look at who those teams are. Look at who the teams are that are at the top of this bracket. North Carolina, been together for 843 years, but they have talent. Mm-hmm. Arizona, been together for quite some time. But they added Caleb Love,
right?
Who all of a sudden became a different player when he got to Arizona because those 3 for 17 from the floor days seemed to be going the way of the dodo bird. Mm-hmm. Iowa State's been together for a long time. Tennessee added Dalton Knecht to a pretty good existing roster. I could keep doing this, but I think you get my point. Where you fall into trouble, South Carolina. South Carolina got run off the floor yesterday. I had no wager that I was bigger on than Oregon beating South Carolina. That I at least don't think I did.
Yep.
I started drinking beers, and I live bet a lot of stuff. I don't even really know what I did. I just woke up this morning and went, well, that number's bigger than it was when I woke up yesterday, so I'm going to call that a win. Because that's a team that just got put together with all the talent that they could. Kentucky's the same thing. Those are the teams that lose. So if you look at who played yesterday, which one of those teams could actually make some noise? Michigan State is one if they weren't playing Carolina. Because I think they have the talent, they just don't score. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed what I saw out of Texas, but I don't think a team that scores that little, you're not going to beat anybody of any real repute.
Substance. Yeah.
Substance. That's good. That's a good word. So I'm looking at the games today. All right, you got Northwestern, which it still feels weird to see them in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it could happen 10 more times. I still don't think it won't be weird to see Northwestern in this.
That's all right. Their coach is getting hired away. Chris Collins is going somewhere else. And
yeah, probably Duke when John Shire gets fired after Vermont beats Duke today.
Ooh, spicy. Ooh.
I'm looking at that Clemson-New Mexico game. Everybody and their brother has New Mexico beating Clemson. Mm-hmm. To the point of now, Clemson's the dog.
Yep.
New Mexico's a 2.5-point favorite.
Yep.
Do you realize how stupid that is?
Why is that stupid?
New Mexico was a bid stealer. Mm-hmm. This was not a team that was even – I mean, yes, they went 26-5, but look who that was against. Mm-hmm. They played a handful of teams that were any good. Colorado State, St. Mary's, UNLV was pretty good. They got housed by virtually every one of these teams. But they beat up on the Pepperdines and the Rice and the Toledo. It's become so vogue that you've gone too far. Clemson's still the better team. They still have they have the best player on the floor, and I don't even think it's debatable.
Sure.
I'm all over Clemson.
I have no faith.
I'm all over
no
Clemson.
Faith.
But you do have faith in Richard Pitino? Really?
More than Brad Brownell? Yes.
I don't know that you should.
I think he's terrible. I think he's absolutely terrible. Sometimes Clemson is competitive. Yeah, they'll sneak up and they'll beat a Carolina every now and then. They'll beat a Duke. Sure, that's fun. And then what? You do the same thing every year.
Oh, I'm not saying they're a threat to. I'm not saying they're a threat to win through the tournament.
I don't think they're a threat to win a tournament game.
I think they're a big threat to win this one. They have a nucleus that has been together with the one legit star. We saw for 16 games yesterday. Mm-hmm. That was a recipe to winning. I think the public's gone crazy on New Mexico. I'm all over Clemson.
Yep. Okay.
Later in the day, you got Colorado, Florida. Mm-hmm. Colorado's a team that's been together for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Florida, not so much. You've had 3 different builds in 3 years. Colorado adds the young star that didn't in Cody Williams, supposed to be a top 5 pick, didn't quite go that way. I love Colorado today. I like Vermont to cover against Duke. Is it not weird to you that number's so low?
12.5.
That this team just does not like each other.
Oh, I love it. Tell me more.
Oh, it's gotten loud. And it started, I can't remember. I think it was Filipowski that went down, and nobody helped him up.
No.
And it started this rabbit hole of, wait a minute, that's bizarre. And you know how media people are. Once you tell them there's gold in them there are hills, they're going to chase it. Mm-hmm. And that appears to be where they've gotten to, is that this team's just, they have no cohesiveness whatsoever. They don't like each other. They can't wait to get out of here. They think Shire's kind of as I've always dubbed it, a little too Johnny Rah-Rah.
Okay.
And there are a lot of sharps betting a lot of money on Vermont to cover today. And
Interesting. 12.5 point dog?
Yes.
So that's a sizable number, but it shouldn't be for Duke, Vermont. That should be we're entering this game with an 18-point spread at minimum. Duke's not
good.
They're good.
No, they're not
good.
They're not.
They're fine.
If they played in the Big Ten, they wouldn't be in this tournament, and you will never convince me otherwise.
Really?
Nope. You name me one of these Big Ten teams that they would have beaten consistently. Illinois would kill them. Illinois would beat them so bloody that they wouldn't even want to get on the bus to go home.
Why?
Because they're not any good. There are two ways that Duke can win games, and it's player A, player B takes over games. Filipowski, you go up against a legit big, he'll eat your lunchbox. Armando Bacot did it in both games this year and had done it in the past because he's not a center. He's a stretch four that's masquerading as a big guy. Then you get this set of guards. Now you don't have Caleb Foster for the rest of this tournament. Death. LMNO dead. Because now you either need Jeremy Roach or Filipowski to go off, and I just don't think it's going to happen consistently enough. I don't.
Okay. I mean, it may not happen consistently enough for them to make a deep run in the tournament.
I'm not sure it's enough for them to get out of today.
Yeah.
And if they do get out of today, I feel real good. They're not getting out of Sunday.
Who do they have on Sunday?
Sunday would be the winner of James Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
don't like you against either one of them.
Against James Madison?
James Madison's that's a good team that plays in a really tiny conference. I'm not going to lie to you. I like James Madison today. They're one of my favorite picks of the day because Wisconsin's not any good either. You just absolutely grind people out. And if you get somebody that can score on you, you're going to lose.
Right. Texas, Colorado State yesterday. That 22-11 first half. Or what was it? Yeah, 27-11 first half.
Oh, yeah. Inability to score is apparently a venereal disease because talk about it. I think I said it here at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. Right. I think I said that no less than 50 times last night.
I hate it when you get a bad case of the UVA.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the old UVA.
You got to get an antibiotic, and then the next thing you know, it's changed your whole life.
I've always felt that there is a formula to winning in the tournament, and it's typically, or I guess in history, it has been really good guard play, senior leadership, great coaching. Those are usually the tick marks that every team has. Every now and then you'll have a team that's got a really big man, right? They've got that centerpiece.
That nobody can stop because they don't have big guys.
Right, but you don't have to have that to win a national championship. But you do have to have guys that can go off. And Duke has 6 of them. The problem is you don't see it on a routine basis from any of them, and so that revolving door just gives you less hope. I don't want it to sound like I'm, being too in favor of the Duke Blue Devils here, but I still feel like they're a good team.
I don't.
And I know you don't. You just said you don't.
I've said it all year long. And it has borne so much fruit for me betting against Duke because if that team did not have those goofy gothic blue Duke uniforms, they'd be a 7 seed. And you'll never convince me otherwise. If that wasn't Duke, ask yourself this. You watched Texas, Colorado State last night.
Yes.
Have you at any point seen a Duke team that was better than what you saw out of Texas last night? All year long.
Oh, that can score more? Yes.
I didn't say can score more. I said is better. Defensively, have you seen Duke at any point do anything that makes you think they can do what they did to Colorado State?
No, they don't play defense well.
Exactly. That's my point. That's
my whole point. That's not their game. That's not how they're built.
So in the lackluster ACC, where if you look at the first team All ACC team, I'm not sure 3 of those dudes would make the Big Ten All Big Ten team. So, yeah, Duke can hide itself in the ACC because you're playing a lot of Florida State and a lot of – I hate to take the shot because they did get a good win last night. NC State, that's got 2 players. I got to stop 2 guys. That's it. You come up against a team, and I hate how this was seeded because I'm looking at if Duke played Grand Canyon, I'm pretty sure I would bet my soul on it. I think I'd have bet my ability to have fun for the rest of my life.
The Grand Canyon would beat them?
Yes, because Grand Canyon has a better player than they do. That they have zero ability to stop. But instead, you put Grand Canyon with St. Mary's and turn this into what will be a fun game to watch, but you're knocking off one of the 32 best teams in this because you put them against each other.
Mm-hmm.
I have railed on the selection committee since this bracket came out.
What, for matching up Grand Canyon and St. Mary's?
No, because they were handed something that they've never really seen before, which is we got all these bid stealers, New Mexico, Duquesne, NC State. If you look at those teams, and I get that several of them won yesterday. Mm-hmm. I get it. Mm-hmm. If you're telling me that those teams are better than Grand Canyon, you're smoking crimes. But Grand Canyon plays late at night in this little tiny conference, and so we hold that against them.
Yes. State
should have been a 13 seed, not an 11. But we do this because we have to do this. We have to put them in there because they're in the ACC. I hate to tell you this, the ACC sucks. And it has for years, and it's only getting worse.
It's not that bad, though.
You got 5 teams in a tournament, and 2 of them were gifts. One of them had to win your tournament. The other had no business being here, and you know I'm right.
But if they're but being at an 11 seed, you're not going any lower than that. Because the ACC is better than the AAC or the Conference USA or Mountain West or any of those other conferences.
Mountain West would beat them head-to-head. Carolina would demolish whoever you put out there against them. From 2 to 8, I don't think they would lose a game. Seriously.
In the Mountain West.
I bet a lot of West Coast basketball.
Yeah.
And I am telling you right now, the ACC is not – I won't say they're not better. If they are better, it's not by much. It is not by much. It's because, and I'm glad you said it that way because you are an ACC fan.
Yes.
And you get defensive about the ACC. I am too. But you're a blue blood Carolina. They've been here forever. My team came in about the time that I came into this world. Florida State came into the ACC. I have no allegiance to you whatsoever. So I can look at exactly what I'm seeing here and go, do you realize how bad this conference actually is? Boston College made a run in your tournament. Boston College, who hasn't had a legit, honest-to-God player in 11 years. That's how bad you are. Just top to bottom, that's how bad you are. Carolina is really, really good. Carolina's also really, really lucky that they played in a really, really bad conference because they have stretches just like yesterday. You're playing a team that I would have been the tallest player on the floor for 24 of the 40 minutes of that game. How does Armando Bacot not get every touch? How are you going to stop him? Oh, no, we got to do dribble drive with Seth Trimble and Elliott. Because Hubert's not a great coach. He's still learning to be a good coach. And I think he's done well with what he's had, and he's a really good recruiter. But that's your high water mark. From there, it gets thin in a hurry. I've seen Duke at times. They didn't even look like a tournament team. Didn't even look like they belonged in this tournament. Obviously they did because, well, there's not 68 teams that do, frankly. I think it's hilarious that people keep talking about growing the tournament. My God, can we get 68 teams that belong here first?
Let's not do that.
Can we get to a point where Virginia doesn't get in here before we start talking about getting bigger?
Right. I mean, remember when we had we just had 63 or 64? We just had 65 teams at one point. Like
it was 65 for like 5 seconds.
Right, and we had the one
playing
game. And then we stretched it out to the first 4. And now they're talking about going to 78, 80 teams. Like I
heard 90 the other day.
Which is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard because what's the point? What's the point in any of it?
Oh, it's fair.
It's not
because you have teams.
Fairness. If you can't claim that you're one of the 62 best teams in college basketball, go down a road somewhere.
I was telling you their argument.
Oh, I understand. I hear them. I hear their arguments, but that's also, I mean.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's also just like standing out in the street and saying, we need to all stop drinking water and start drinking battery acid. Like, no, you're an idiot. Go on somewhere. Like, it doesn't make any sense
Usually
to me.
I'm the one that makes analogies that are like, whoa, where did that come from?
It's like, it's better for us now. Is it, though? Because I'm pretty sure more teams in the NCAA tournament. Will I watch it? Probably, maybe.
No doubt.
We'll watch it. We'll still
adding that.
We'll still wager on it, but I ain't watching it. You give me a play-in game between I don't know, Texas A&M Prairie View and Corpus Christi.
Oh, that's not how this would go.
I'm still not watching it.
That's not how this would go.
How you think it'll go? Actually, you know what? We need to take a break. When we come back from the break, we will we'll go down this path. How do you think that would look if we expanded? Are we going to get a whole bunch of crappy matchups that nobody wants to see, or will they stagger it better than that? Because, frankly, I don't think they can. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're live at the Village Porch in Woodford. Thank you. Hey, Thomas. All right, we're going to skip outside. And then we'll be taking this all the way to the top. We'll combine all these breaks and the green on green and all that together, okay? No. Go music. We are back live at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It is the sports home of the Sportsocracy, and we are I put an extra H in there on that. The sportsocracy.
Even not in the studio, you forget to unmute. You forget to turn my microphone.
We are live as the tournament action is underway for this Friday.
Northwestern and Florida Atlantic are setting basketball back many, many years.
Worse than Texas and Colorado State yesterday?
No, I won't say it was worse than that.
I was going to say.
Well, I mean, we got 7 minutes to go. It's 12-11.
That's on par.
That's not good.
That's on par because I think with about 60 seconds left in the in that Texas-Colorado State game yesterday, it was like 22-11, and it was terrible.
Then Texas scored twice inside the last minute.
Yes, they did to take that 27-11 lead. Ended up winning mightily in the second half. We got Baylor and Colgate as well underway half, and I don't think Colgate has scored. I can't really see the score from here. It's probably something that I could have up on my computer. Yeah, it looks like 13-0 from here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot to a little. That's let me just go ahead and tell you, if you want to live bet that bad boy on the DraftKings Sportsbook, you'd probably take Baylor without a whole lot of fear.
You just keep zhuzhing it up. Just keep going. It's the highest they can get. Just put another plus 200, another plus 200, another plus 200. Just keep going. As high as you could possibly get it.
Vic Sheldon said, he said we look like we're about to break out 2 turntables and a microphone and break out some sick beats.
Why is that?
I do kind of look like a club DJ at the DraftKings nightclub.
Do you? Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm the C DJ. I'm not like the guy that they put on the marquee.
No.
I'm the guy that
this guy showed up 10 minutes before and said, "Hey, I got some turntables at home.
Hey,
I was pretty good at that DJ Hero game.
Let me make boom boom. Can I make boom boom?"
No, sir. You cannot make boom boom here. This is not San Francisco. You need to go to the bathroom for that.
Hey, our sitting president asked the same question, so I can ask it.
Good Lord. All right, we've only got a few minutes left here in the hour because we still got to get to your Greene on Greene picks here, and got some commercials to fit in as well. So
yeah, because we got on a tangent.
We did. We got on a tangent here. So finish off the tangent.
Well, the big takeaway for me is that everybody worries about we got to get a 12, we got to get an 11. In all reality, 13s are the more likely. I think you've gotten the 13 that's going to win. That was
picking your upsets.
Yes, because everybody worries about, we got to get the upsets in. This is not one of those years. I don't see it because you see. I mean, all right, we're watching it right now. Baylor and Colgate. You can very obviously see that there is a huge discrepancy in talent.
Yes.
You can see it yesterday with Carolina and Wagner.
No doubt.
You can see it with Tennessee. It's abundantly clear that now that you've got these higher level seniors on these bigger programs, you just can't contend with them. Mm-hmm. So stop worrying about, what 14 seed's going to get to the Sweet 16? Well, they might get there and they'll get slaughtered. Because once the big boys come to town, and there's not many.
But we want to.
I mean, you said this. But
we want to be the one to say we had it, and that's where a lot of us, when we're putting our brackets together, we get caught. Because I don't want to be the one. I want to be able to be the one that said, "Oh, I had that. I had McNeese and Sanford the second round. Look at that."
I had McNeese,
and you betray everything that you know or everything that you think because weird crap happens in the NCAA tournament. Some things just don't make sense.
But you have to understand how different the game is now than the years that you're using these projections on.
Yes.
It's super different now that you've got – I mean, just look at the NBA draft. There's nobody in it.
No.
That's another problem.
Nobody that we know.
Is that you're not getting – I mean, who's the best player in college basketball right now? I mean, it's Zach Edey. I don't think there's really any doubt in that.
Well, yeah. I was
but
thinking,
I mean, why?
But he's not a prospect.
I'm not talking about from the NBA standpoint. I'm talking about who is the best college basketball player right now.
Zach Edey.
Zach Edey.
Yeah.
Why is he so good? Because nobody has a big that can even kind of contend with him. Mm-hmm. From a footwork standpoint or an actual skill set, is he the best player in college basketball? Good God, no. He's just a giant.
Yeah.
He's a giant playing against children. Because I've watched Purdue a handful of times, and it looks like he has a 9-inch height advantage on whoever's guarding him. Mm-hmm. Conversely, who's the best guard in the country?
R.J. Davis.
I could make the argument it's Caleb Love. I could make the argument it's R.J. Davis.
Could be.
This is two flawed players that were in the same backcourt at Carolina. That's the best you've got. There is no Zion Williamson that could come in here and just take over. I know he didn't do that. I'm well aware of that. That was just an example.
Right.
You're not getting that prospect anymore. You're not getting the one player that can come in here and just beat you, which is why I look at Grand Canyon, who does have a literal first-round NBA prospect, and go, I don't know that St. Mary's can beat you. I don't know if they can beat that one kid by himself.
No. The defense that they can't hold up because they're one of the best defensive teams in the country.
They are very good. That's why I hated that matchup because I felt like you kind of screwed Grand Canyon because, nobody cares. It's a little school out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, if you can't beat St. Mary's, then
St. Mary's is really good.
Oh, of course they are. But that's kind of my point of, well, if you can't beat St. Mary's, there's 4 other teams ranked ahead of them in that bracket. Mm-hmm. I can't really complain that you got a raw deal. You got to come in here and you got to beat the best in the world.
I hate that argument.
What?
Styles make fights. You know that.
Sure
Just
they do.
Because you couldn't beat St. Mary's. I would argue St. Mary's might be the worst matchup they could have drawn.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But you have to beat teams like that.
And I get that. You don't necessarily have to beat them in the first round.
Now that I can get. But that comes down to getting a raw deal. But you're saying that Grand Canyon was better than some of the 11 seeds from the bigger conferences.
Oh, God. I'm saying Grand Canyon would hurt NC State's feelings.
Really?
And I know you Wolfpackers don't want to hear that today. You got your win. Enjoy it. Grand Canyon will beat you. They're a better team than you are, and they got a raw deal because of you. And it's stupid. And then I look at Duquesne that won a mediocre conference, and they get an 11 seed.
They may be better. They may be more talented. Yes. They may have better coaching. But I'm about to say something good about NC State.
Oh.
Because I'm not really sure there's too many more teams that are playing better basketball as a team right now than NC State is. And you have to give a lot of credit to the program, to the players, and unfortunately, in my case, I got to give a lot of credit to Kevin Keats for making sure that happened as well.
That hurt you?
It did, but I'm a big man. I can admit when I'm wrong. And at least for the last 6 games, I have been terribly wrong about NC State. And there you go. They're one of the teams that's going to be moving on in the NCAA tournament, along with the North Carolina Tar Heels. All the coverage right here on the iHeartMedia Asheville airwaves with the Tar Heels on ESPN Asheville. And, of course, the NC State Wolfpack, always heard on News Radio 570 WWNC. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, hanging out, taking in the basketball today. You can come on by and join us. We will be right back.
Thank you.
All right, so just all of it together. So just... No, I would just leave it, and then down in the left-hand corner on Live Assist, you can just switch it to auto. And then it'll go into that next spot block. And then while it's in the last spot block, right before the legal ID, you can just flip it back to live. And that way, so we've got, here, I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. I'm in the log, so if you see things move, don't freak out. All right. I'll be right back.
Yes. Oh, I know who you play. I was just saying they were better than you. Oh, I know. I'm saying they got housed being in the West because they should not have to play St. Mary. That team's really good.
Yeah, sir.
They're not free, but they are really, really good.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You are in the Sportsocracy, and we are live, not in the Ingalls studio as usual, but we are live at 51 North Merriman Avenue, the Village Porch. It is the sports home of the Sportsocracy, and taking in the first two games of the day in the 2024 NCAA tournaments. They have both tournaments on. So if you're into the women's basketball, you can check out the Tar Heel girls are playing right now.
Oddly enough, against Michigan State.
Yep. We've got Baylor and Colgate going on the screen, and then
24 to 12.
and then Northwestern. And who are they playing? It didn't
Florida Atlantic.
Florida Atlantic. That's right. The old Final Four team from last year. Those are the first two games of the day, and of course, Jeremy with his big tips on how you can win in the tournament. We'll have more picks from Flostradamus coming to you later on in the program.
And if you want some in-person betting tips, you can find the big mulleted moron at the Village Porch wearing an Oregon Trail DraftKings shirt.
Yes.
And he'll give you all of them.
He is the true poster child of the DraftKings Sportsbook.
I am the definition of if I like your product and if you'll pay me money, I will bathe myself in that product.
Yes.
Which is a great time to also say, Ingalls, low prices.
Love the savings. Indeed. Come on down to 51 North Merriman Avenue, the Village Porch. They have a special going today that if you come down for the game of your team, you wear the gear, and they win 25% off all your food. So just wear your swag down here to the Village Porch, hang out for your game, and then, possibly get you some so let's see here. College of Charleston fans, if y'all want to come out.
Clemson.
I don't know about the College of
Clemson's the one that I would be leaning on because they play at, 3:10?
Oh, there you go.
Show up in a
3:10.
Clemson shirt. Hey, and here's the thing, and I hate to go inside baseball here.
Yeah.
If you have a Clemson shirt, you don't have to be a Clemson fan. You have to show up wearing their swag.
Oh,
see what you did there?
Not just a hat rack, is it?
That's how I showed up here wearing a Carolina shirt yesterday.
Oh.
You see what I did there?
I do see what you did there. A little 25% off the food bill. Drinks not included in that, obviously. But here at the Village Porch all day long, we'll be hanging out. I'll be hanging out most of the afternoon. Flostradamus will be here until they shut it down, I'm
100%.
sure.
I got a key. They not give you a key?
Why am I not shocked that George gave you a key? All right. You want to talk some football for a
100%.
second? Let's. We are a football-centric show here in the Sportsocracy. So, the thing everybody talking about today in the football world was Caleb Williams, once again, the discussion is coming back around to, is Caleb Williams worth the number 1 pick in the draft? How much should we be concerned about Caleb Williams? You've got Dan Orlovsky out there now talking about Jaden Daniels. He would be the pick if Dan Orlovsky were making it. Does any of it matter? Is there actually a regression on the prospects of Caleb Williams, or is this just, again, part of the lying season?
Well, you have to be careful what you believe. Is there any chance that Chicago doesn't take Caleb Williams? Let me answer that question off the rip. No. There's a better chance of me buying an aviary and donating the proceeds to the federal government than the Chicago Bears taking anybody not named Caleb Williams at 1. Now, should they? I believe they should. I've said this more than once. I would take Jaden Daniels at 1, and I wouldn't think a second thing about it. Would not think a second thing about it. Not because and this is where I really have to hone in on this. It's not that I think he's so much better of a prospect. I think Caleb Williams is floor because I don't think he is as potentially combustible between the ear holes as Caleb Williams is.
Yep.
Now, I also think the Bears are the best spot for Caleb Williams to land because you got 2 legit number 1s that are both pros. You want 2 guys to really show Caleb Williams the ropes, you could do way worse than DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Now, you put him in Washington, and now I have the angina again. Oh, this is the place he grew up, and there isn't a ton of veteran leadership on that team. Okay, got to go. I don't want to do that.
Right.
But that's why I think Caleb Williams at 1, Jaden Daniels at 2 is the perfect fit. Mm-hmm. That's how this should go. This is how this will go.
Why does Drake not have a claim in any of this?
To going 1?
And it just seems like to me that's where the back pedal is.
What do you mean?
And I don't want to, and I don't want to know. I mean, from scouts, from the hype machine, from everything, it appears. I believe we pick on one guy every year in the draft process. There's one guy who's the poster child of the, I don't know, I'm backing off of this guy. It seems the industry goes cold on one guy every year.
It's not picking on them, though. Drake May is to me, is a phenomenal prospect. Mm-hmm. But there are questions about him. I think he has a higher bust potential than either Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, which that would scare me because Drake May's the one that gets you fired. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams, if you don't take him, that gets you fired. If he implodes, you can just step back and go, what else was I supposed to do?
Yeah, everybody else got it wrong, too.
Every other person would have taken him at 1.
Right.
Except that fat, mulleted idiot in the Oregon Trail shirt who was all about Jaden Daniels. And I'm not telling you that I wouldn't take Caleb Williams. If I had actually, yes, I am. If I had the number 1 pick, I'd take Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
But
if you had the number 2 pick,
I would take Caleb Williams.
There you go.
So, and that's how I've kind of played musical chairs with my rankings there. It's not that anybody's hating on Drake or anything like that. He just doesn't have the hype machine. It's just that he doesn't have the tape to back up taking him ahead of Jaden Daniels. He does on the high side, but then there's the bad.
There is the bad. The end of the season, the last 6 games, there wasn't really anything that I looked at and went, it was necessarily his fault, if that makes any sense, for the Tar Heels losing the way they did down the stretch of the season. But you can't get away from that. You can't forget that you saw that. That you saw that Carolina team be so hot. What were they, 7-0? 6-0? And then all of a sudden they lose 4 out of the last 8 ball games or 4 out of the last 6, whatever it was. It's hard to get away from that. But now you have J.J. McCarthy entering the discussions at the top. Because a lot of the discussion on the morning shows today was maybe the first 4 picks in this draft will all be quarterbacks. Someone
because you got
is
Arizona
getting up to 4.
Look,
Because Arizona,
can we stop the gnashing of teeth with Arizona? All right, I've had like 100 people send me what Monty Ossenfort said.
Yes.
And yes, I know he said the same thing last year. And yes, I know he also did trade his pick in the top 5. There is a price on anything where I will do it. What do I think that price is? Dumb. If you call me and say, hey, I want to do something so unbelievably stupid that my fan base is going to mutiny for me to trade up to get J.J. McCarthy, then yes, I will trade down because you wouldn't be doing your due diligence if you didn't.
Right.
Do I think they're openly entertaining those calls? Do I think they're dialing phones to Minnesota or Denver? No, I don't. I think they're completely prepared to sit there at 4 with Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, that's 100% a statement that you make when you want to receive the phone calls. I'm not moving out of that spot voluntarily.
Unless you give me something dumb.
I mean, but I don't know. Is Monty Ossenfort picking up the phone to call Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in Minnesota to say, give me 11 and give me 24 and give me a 1 next year and give me a 2 years from now or whatever. Like, he's not.
You give me that offer, I'll do it right now.
I no doubt.
I'll do it right now.
No doubt. But I don't think he's the one making the phone call.
I agree.
It's Kwesi. Like, that's on them.
And that's basically what he was saying.
Yes, you call me,
I will
answer.
give you the platitude of I am open to trading the pick, just like I am open to trading anybody else.
I will listen.
There is a value where any player in the NFL not named Pat Mahomes could be had. If you called the Buffalo Bills right now and said, I'll give you my next 20 first-round picks for Josh Allen, they'd go, well, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna. Mm-hmm. I don't want to, but I'm gonna.
Would you move to 11?
From 4?
If you were Arizona? Knowing that you're going to get future capital plus 24.
Well, it's a different question. So you're asking me, would I move? I'll take the trade you just gave me. Would I give up 4 and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
to get 11, 23, a 1, and a future 2? Yes, I would. And where I would probably go from there is do the same thing they did last year. I'll trade down from 4. I'll let somebody give me a king's ransom to get J.J. McCarthy. Marvin Harrison Jr. will go at 5. I don't know that the Chargers would take Harrison over Malik Neighbors. I had not really thought about that until just now. I believe they would, but I'm not dead sold on that. I know there are teams that have Neighbors ahead of Marvin Harrison.
Really? Okay.
But let's say either way.
I didn't realize it was that close between the two of them.
Either way, the way it would go is one of them's going at 5, one of them's going at 6. The Titans are taking Joe Alt at 7 to have the left tackle. Then I'm sitting at 11. I'm going to call the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go get Rome Odunze.
Yep.
Because they can trade down. They have no fear of losing one of the pass rushers. I'll either get Verse or I'll get Dallas Turner, moving down to 11. So I can do that for a third-round pick, and I came out a first-rounder, an extra first-rounder this year, 1 next year, and a future 2 to the good. And, yes, I didn't get the elite prospect in Marvin Harrison Jr., but I still got a high-level 1. That's when you have a team that's this bereft of talent, that's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say worst-case scenario, I can't get into the top 10. Okay, I'll take Byron Murphy at 11. I will take E.D. Mitchell or Brian Thomas Jr. or Xavier Worthy or somebody like that at 23. And then I will add another defensive piece at 27 because I have 3 first-round picks in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And you open yourself up to that. That's the reason I didn't kill their offseason the way that some other people did. I understand why you did it. I need veterans in the room. And I think they're receptive to that if you'll do something stupid, but that's the only way you're going to do it.
Right. There again, is this all just a smokescreen? And nobody's really sold on J.J. McCarthy as far as a trade-up scenario goes. And this is just more bluster.
This feels like a good time to play a fun game of who wants you to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've got several things happening around the NFL. One of them was said specifically by a player, and it's been mentioned in our chat a couple times. So I think when we come back, I think we need to play a fun game of who wants you to know that with a few things happening around the NFL.
All right.
Another thing that it's a great time for us to tell you.
Yes.
DraftKings Sportsbook. It's legal. We're doing it. March Madness. We got games happening. I'm watching them all around me right now. I'm live betting them on my phone. You know why? Because I can. because I can do it from my phone anywhere here in the Tar Heel State. And for a limited time, new customers who sign up with our code WPEK, bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. Whether you prefer playing player props, same-game parlays, or you just want to ride that heater in the money line, you can do it all with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now with our code WPEK. Bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code WPEK. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only, new customers only. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
We got one close game on the television right now in the NCAA tournament 2019. 8th-seeded Florida Atlantic, 9th-seeded Northwestern. Yeah, they also got that Baylor-Colgate blowout on the television screen. Come on by, hang out, have lunch with us here at the Village Porch. And,
you can hang out with us and watch basketball while we talk football.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Sounds like a perfect plan to me. Hanging out here all afternoon. Come on down Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. We will be right back.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you, sir. Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are live on location today. I would say that this was an equal step over from the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I mean, it's just a lateral move here to the lovely confines of the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. We love hanging out here. The people are great. The food is awesome. And, of course, the libations always flowing here at the Village Porch. Come on down and hang out with us. Enjoy the second day of the NCAA men's tournament, first day of the women's tournament as well. They got them all on the televisions here. And come on by and, again, rep your team as they play today. And if you're wearing team gear and they win, you get 25% off of your bill. Well, off of your food. Beverages not included in the 25% discount for winners.
Yeah, we can't do that here in the state.
Nope.
Can't have happy hours.
Nope.
Hey, you gave us sports gambling, and we really thank you, politicians. Can we have a happy hour? Why is this so hard? We're like Beer City. So that'd be awesome if you could just do that. Just give us what we want.
So it's time to play the fun game of Who Wants You to Know.
Yes.
NFL Draftmas season, also known as the lying season. Who wants you to know what?
So the J.J. McCarthy thing, you mentioned that was being talked about across all the national platforms this morning.
Yes.
Who wants you to know that? To me, there are two really simple answers to this. Who wants you to know that there are people that believe J.J. McCarthy can be a franchise quarterback and there is a possibility that he's going to end up in the top 5?
Oh, J.J. McCarthy's agent is one.
No, doesn't have that kind of power. Not to get to that level. I mean, you can float it, but credibility is going to listen to J.J. McCarthy's agent. Oh, a bunch of people in top 5 have called me. Sweet, who are they? Nobody? Cool. I didn't think so.
The Arizona Cardinals.
There's one. I don't have a bell, but I do have this. Yes. That's one of them.
Yep.
Every other team in the back end of the top 10. Oh, J.J. McCarthy could get do that.
Get up to 5. Get up to 6. Get up to 7.
You know what? You go up there and get you a quarterback because you're going to need to. The New York Jets are sitting there going, we like Brock Bowers. But could we be convinced to trade if a team wanted J.J. McCarthy? And he was a top 5 talent.
Yeah.
He's fallen here to 10. We don't have a second-round pick because we traded for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you wanted to call him Bolus over, we could give you 10 to get in front of Minnesota to take J.J. McCarthy, who everybody thinks is a top 5 talent. You should do. If you don't think that, you're dumb.
Right. Okay, yeah, I see how what path you're going down there, and it makes total sense. The problem is, and I guess that's why Monty Ossenfort kicked it off with,
oh, no doubt.
I'm taking calls at 4 because the draft starts at 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and that's,
I mean, we've all been under the assumption that the first 3 are all going to be quarterbacks, and so now the draft starts at 4. You want to give me a call? I'm the first one in line.
All Monty Ossenfort did is say, you know what? I don't want to sell my house, but I'm going to list it on the market for $450,000. And if somebody offers me $700,000, I will happily sell it to them. That's all he did.
Yep.
There's nothing else there. There's no deeper meaning. There's no anything like that. Not, he soured on Marvin Harrison. It's none of that.
No, because it's also part of the calculation is what is the difference between the player I could get and the player that I would get if I ended up dropping down to 10 or I guess 11 is the one that we'll use for this exercise since Minnesota seems to be the one that wants to move up. I still feel like they are the ones that are going to do the move up because they have the extra capital now.
I feel like that's why they made that trade.
Yes, you made that move to do that.
Now, this is going to be something that we've never done with Who Wants You to Know That because we already kind of know. But I want to dig deeper into why.
Okay.
DJ Moore appeared on 670 The Score's Mully and Huff show. and he had just a whole mess of things to say.
Okay.
He was asked about Keenan Allen coming to the Chicago Bears. And you would think that he would have nice things to say about that, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Here was his response. Doesn't really matter to me. I know we both talked about how we're going to compliment each other, so I'm just looking forward to that. Might be a race to 1,000 yards, but that's just a friendly competition. At the end of the day, if we're winning, whoever's catching the ball, I don't really care. I want to break that sentence down to the it doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, that's what you really meant. And then you realized how that sounded when it came out of your mouth, and you went, uh-oh, I got to backpedal because that makes it sound real, real bad that I said something real, real stupid. And now, I don't care that Keenan Allen's coming. Yeah, you do. I mean, if you want to win, you do.
Right.
And in a vacuum, that one line wouldn't be all that stupid. Then he was asked about the Justin Fields trade. You'd think he would say, well, I mean, I enjoyed Justin. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a great player and wish him great luck in Pittsburgh. That's what you would think he would say, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's what he did say. Nobody wanted the Justin Fields trade. I disagree for the square, DJ. You didn't want the Justin Fields trade because you're the only person in the NFL that has benefited from Justin Fields in any way, fact or fiction.
Fact.
You had your best year with Justin Fields, and now you're afraid that Caleb Williams, as a rookie, is going to come in. Your numbers are going to go down. You've added Keenan Allen. Your numbers are going to go down because of that, and everything you just said is self-serving. Fact or fiction?
It could be.
Nobody with an
you know me, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't care about anything but winning. And this puts you in a better position. Well, that didn't
sound like you care about winning. This did not. I don't care that Keenan Allen's here, and nobody wanted Justin Fields, who, by the way, was 7-24 as a starter or something like that.
Something like that.
It's somewhere in that neighborhood.
I thought it was.
But nobody wanted him traded.
I believe they did.
I believe a lot of people did. Probably a lot of people wear Chicago Bears merchandise.
But you're not gonna put him out there like that.
I just feel like all DJ Moore did was just he heaped some pressure on Caleb Williams that didn't need to be there. Saying that nobody wanted the Justin Fields trade is a dumb thing to say out loud.
I would agree.
I mean, give me
I would agree
reason
because it
that
puts
it would
the
make
new
sense
guy
to say.
it puts the new guy in a tough spot.
No doubt.
It makes you think that it's a standoffish relationship from the jump. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams is coming in here, but we all wanted Justin Fields. That is, I will agree with you. That's not something that you put out there in the, you deal with that in-house. You keep that to yourself. You keep that to your group of players, whatever your clique is in the locker room or whoever the Justin Fields backers are. We kind of have to bury that and move on.
Justin Fields.
But there's
the only way I can equate this, and I love analogies. We're in a restaurant right now. Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
No.
Really?
No.
I am shocked by that. A place that would give you free food every day? I've seen what you look like at 16. I'm shocked that you didn't go, yeah, I'll do that.
I know.
Okay, I have worked in a restaurant.
Okay.
I've actually owned a couple of them. So one of the things that you quickly figure out in restaurants is that there are cliques. And there are people that really like working with other people. There are servers that like working with each other. There are servers that like working with certain kitchen staff. You know what that doesn't mean? That either one of them's actually a good employee. It means you like each other and you like being here together. Probably 75% of the time, production goes down when you work with the person that you like.
Right.
Because there's a lot of grab keister time where you're not doing what it is that's actually making you money.
True.
That is exactly what I heard with this Justin Fields thing. He was my buddy. I liked him. He was great for me. Yeah, we were bad. Yeah, we didn't win. Defense was good. Offense was horrific outside of me. But I was okay with that. I'm good with that.
But could he not also just believe that there's more to Justin and with another piece, it would have been different? We upgraded the offensive line again. It was terrible. It got less terrible. Now it could be real decent. And we added another weapon. I get where he feels a little like, Justin kind of got a raw deal. Because I do understand those people. If you still have faith.
I don't.
I know, because you don't have faith that Justin Fields can grow into anything else.
I don't think
Apparently there are others.
There's a lot of people that believe in the government. There's a lot of – never mind. No good. I was headed down a tangent.
But what I'm saying is if DJ Moore and other players on the team are willing to put themselves out there like that, I mean, that says something to me about Justin Fields, not only as a teammate but also as a developing player. There are people that believe intimately that he will be better.
And that is why I am steadfast in saying how stupid it is that some people think that just because you played means you know the sport. Because if you look at Justin Fields and you look at Caleb Williams and you objectively think that Justin Fields would win more games next year for the Chicago Bears or over the next 5 years, I don't really care which way you want to look at it, then you are too stupid for me to talk to, and your opinion is completely irrelevant. That would be like looking at me and saying, if you set your house on fire, the value might go up. You care to explain that to me? Because what you just said sounded real stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. This is the reason that guys, when we were talking about the Fields trade and all of these things and where he could go, I said I would avoid him like he was on fire outside of a handful of teams that have really stable locker rooms and really stable infrastructure. And that is also why he got a 6th-round pick to be a backup quarterback in Pittsburgh. 31 NFL, actually 32 because he was on the first one. 32 NFL teams looked at this guy and went, he is not good enough to be a starter in this league. He is too much of a headache. Does anybody believe he's not one of the 32 most talented? No. You come with top 5 headaches. You're not a top 5 quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The ironic thing is I could make the same argument about Caleb Williams. And then I see this, and if I'm just I'm somebody that's been all aboard I think the Bears are going to be way better. Mm-hmm. Then I hear DJ Moore say this, and I go, are you sure? Because the suck seems to be just really baked into Chicago, and you don't seem to want to break this stride. Because there's still about 30% of Bears fans that think it's stupid that they traded Justin Fields to take Caleb Williams.
Sure.
That's insane to me.
Sure. You get used to your guy. You want to believe in him. You don't think that you got everything you can out of him. And now there's a part of you that feels like, maybe we're making a mistake. Or we're going after this Caleb Williams kid. Maybe he's going to be no better. And maybe worse.
He could end up being worse. Fact or fiction.
He will be cheaper. Absolutely. It's hard for fans to come to grips with losing their favorite player. I mean, they've been defending this guy for 4 years, trying to convince everybody that he's not terrible. They're in a tough position. I'm not saying they're right. I think they're wrong. I don't think Justin Fields is an NFL quarterback either. I'm just trying to look at it from everybody else's perspective here, and in DJ Moore's perspective, he wasn't trying to throw a shot at Caleb Williams. He wasn't even thinking about Caleb Williams, which is a part of a problem for him and his agent. Like, y'all need to figure some of that stuff out. Of when I'm in front of the media, I need to be a little more calculated with how my, he was just trying to throw a sop to his guy. He loved
that's not on his team. Maybe throw one to the guy that's on your team.
I get it, but I don't know that guy yet.
You want to be buddies with guys on other teams? More power to you.
Yeah.
I want to win. And I want my best player to be all in on winning. And I'm going to echo what Jekyll said here. I understand DJ's statement, but shouldn't have gone public with it.
No doubt.
Him and Fields got close on and off the field, but that's a one-on-one conversation, not a social media thing. Bingo.
Yes.
Stop running to the media to tell them every stupid thing that's on your mind. Because you just made it tougher on Caleb Williams. Whether that's 1% or 90%, I don't know. I know this did not help in any shape, form, or fashion. It's getting talked about all over the sports landscape today. Mm-hmm. That's not a good thing. Mm-hmm. It's not. You know what a Venn diagram is?
Yeah.
Where you've got the two circles and they overlap.
Yeah.
At this point, Justin Fields defenders and flat earthers to me. If you did a Venn diagram, it would be one circle with 2 crescent moons on each side. Because if you believe in that, you also believe the earth is flat. Because obviously, complete autonomy and complete unmitigated evidence is not enough for you to look at something and go, fact, the earth is round. We have seen it. There's a picture of it. Nope, flat. Justin Fields could be an NFL quarterback. I could be a prima ballerina, but I've shown you absolutely nothing to make you think I could.
Right. No, DJ, I don't think this is a bigger issue.
I do.
I honestly don't. Although, what have we said about Caleb Williams? What about Caleb Williams has shown you that he's completely level-headed and mature about things?
That's another
and when he gets when he gets wind of this, when he sees what this is, oh really? Maybe he will take it that way, or maybe he'll just take it in stride of, well, I mean, DJ liked having Justin around, and mean that we can't build a relationship with each other. It just means that he was comfortable with his last quarterback, and it's a change, and we all know that guys can go through, you go through a change. It may be tough on you mentally, but we can all bury that and regroup as a team, and I don't know that this is any bigger than just DJ Moore. You said running to the media. Did he run to the media, or was he just on this podcast as a guest, and then they asked him? Huh?
It's a radio show.
It was his radio show?
No, it was a radio show in Chicago.
That's what I'm saying. He's on the radio show, and they asked you the question. He answered it honestly.
But you did the interview knowing full well that they were going to ask that question.
Sure.
Somebody should have prepped you and gone, hey, you know what the answer is? Caleb.
Right.
That's
Focus
the
on
answer.
Caleb.
Justin's yesterday. Caleb's today.
Well, that's the fault of his PR people, his agency, his the team even. Like, I don't know what PR person from the Bears needs to reach out to you, but somebody does and say, hey, you on board with this? We're not going to go out there talking smack about Caleb or throwing veiled shots at Caleb by hailing Justin.
That'd be one of those where you go, hey, Goober, could you potentially shut up, please? That'd be awesome.
Back satisfied Browns fans as DJ Moore went full Cat Williams.
What did Cat Williams say? Oh, we're still. Oh, but never mind.
Old thing. Nothing new. I don't think. If it is something new, let us know because we don't know. Again, I don't think it was a personal shot. It was just ill-advised timing and response for DJ Moore. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be back live at the Village Porch right after this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Skipping weird. Thank you, sir. 20 seconds. And we are back live at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, hanging out here until 3 o'clock. Well, I mean, we'll be on the air until 3 o'clock. We'll be doing YouTube lives and things throughout the day on the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, shame on you. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link in the middle of the screen, and then once you're through to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so you can get all of our content here and join us every day. And plus, when you subscribe, that gets you into the chat. You can throw out your questions, topic suggestions, all those things. We are at the Village Porch for all of the basketballing and our day. I mean, not only brought to you by the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, but also the DraftKings Sportsbook app. We'll have that out all day long. Jeremy will be shouting his favorite picks from the high heavens.
I will have I'll have a poodle parlay.
A poodle parlay.
That's what I'm calling it from now on.
I missed 2 more of those yesterday. 3 legs, but the last one didn't hit. I missed it on.
At least you're doing it.
Harrison Barnes.
Harrison Barnes didn't hurt you with anything yesterday.
What? Harrison Ingram. Excuse me.
Go.
Sorry, that other Tar Heel guy named Harrison. Harrison Ingram. I had over 1.5 threes. He was wide open on the perimeter at least 8 times in the last 4 minutes of that game.
I love how
he couldn't bring it to him. They couldn't bring it to, let's just chuck up another 3.
I love how you just went full Bill Walton right there. He was wide open out at the 3-point line. It was incredible, smelling sounds and tasted colors.
He was wide open. I kept screaming at my television, throw it to him. I just need 1 more to hit this 4-legger. Yeah. And then I lost a 4-legger on the Oregon-South Carolina game because I had over 13.5 points for B.J. Mack from South Carolina. And he scored 13 points and then fouled out of the game.
He had 13?
He had 13 points and fouled out of the game, and I went, oh! Because, again, I hit every leg of that one except for the B.J. Mack. I thought that was the layup of the day.
I did real good on Oregon, South Carolina. You won't play good. You try to play good.
Yeah,
I played pretty good.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. That's why people listen to his picks, not mine. However, I will say that the one that I threw out in the chat yesterday, that was Flostradamus approved of the Harrison Ingram. So, Vic, I'm sorry. I know he went down that path too. Patrick Holt may have gone that path as well. I apologize for my role in all of that. But, yes, that was checked with Flostradamus before I start telling other people about it. See, I just let me do the dumb things all by my lonesome and never tell anybody about it. Anyhow.
I feel like we have to talk about this NFL kickoff thing.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
Why do we do this? Why are we still doing the kickoff at all? Can we just place it at the 25 and be done?
Because it's an element of the game. And no, we can't just put it at the 25 because that's stupid.
Well, it's stupid this way, too.
All right,
so what's better when we were running into each other from 8 miles away?
Well, that's easy to say when you're not the one being run into.
No doubt. I agree. Completely agree. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want it. If I was a player, I wouldn't want to do it.
I'll pass.
I'm good.
I'm good. That dude he's got a 70-yard head start before he decapitates me.
Exactly.
I'll pass.
But doing it shortening the field and all of that, just put it at the 25.
So have you heard the proposal?
Explain it to me.
All right, the kickoff would remain at the 35-yard line.
Okay.
But the 10 players that are not the kicker would line up at the opposing team's 40.
Oh, so this is like the XFL rule.
Yes. There would be a landing zone in between the goal line and the 20-yard line.
Okay.
If the ball lands there, it prompts action. So you can't fair catch at the 5 anymore.
Right.
Which I always thought was incredibly stupid.
Yeah, if you want to fair catch it at the 5, you get it at the 5.
I mean, I'm just going to kick it really high and drop it on the 5, and I'm going to have all my dudes with, I don't know, what is that, 30 less yards to get out of alignment. I'm all about it.
Covering every gap.
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
It brings the kickoff back to where you could actually legitimately do something with it. I also don't understand why we can't have an onside kickoff rule where you have 5 players, we have 5 players. They're in the landing zone, and I'm kicking it at all 10 of you. Why can we not do that?
And just see who parks underneath it?
Just see who gets the ball. We'll just battle over the ball. There's no collision here. You're all standing together.
Oh, you could draw up plays to create collisions, though.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, I'm working up a play of like, okay,
yeah.
This is the screenplay of this is like a basketball play now inside. So when the ball goes up in the air, now you 3 are going to box this guy out.
That's the only way Jeremy would ever
That's
get
ridiculous.
in the NFL. Listen here, Mullet. Your goal is to take 3 of theirs out. That's all you're here for.
Absolutely.
And if the ball hits you in the face, you catch it.
Yes. I'm trying to think. Oh, who was the linebacker from Clemson a few years ago that couldn't? That always got the penalties in the big games.
James Skalski.
Yeah, that's a spot for him in the NFL.
He was a little for that.
He's the box out guy.
He's a little for that.
I'm just gonna lay the
you
hammer.
You need a big guy that doesn't have a lot of fear of repercussions, and that would be me. I mean, I'm in favor of anything that brings the kickoff back.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to come back, though?
I think you
Will
would
the
have
coaches-
far more kickoff returns than you had last year.
Okay, I was going to say, will this be something that the coaches will embrace of, yeah, let's, drop it in the, what did you call it, the receiving zone or?
Landing zone.
The landing zone. Drop it in the landing zone and see if they return it.
I'm just curious.
I think I'm still just going to hammer it. I'm just still going to send my kicker out there. Just send it to the moon and let's get it over with.
Which team returned the most kickoffs last year?
I don't know. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
There were 3 that were way higher than everybody else.
Okay.
The Green Bay Packers had 31. The Jaguars had 29. The Seahawks had 26. Nobody else was above 20. Most in the NFL didn't even average 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a grand total of 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns last year. Houston had 2 of them.
Is it a problem, though?
I think
this is exactly what they wanted. This is what the Players Association, this is what the league wanted, cutting down on the dangerous plays. So they got exactly
on the dangerousness of the play by doing exactly what they're doing right here. You get started at the 40. That takes 30 yards of head start off.
Yep.
It's fine. It's fine. Do it. Enact it right now.
Also, the hip drop tackle. They're apparently on board with banning the hip drop tackle. Which, I mean, that to me, that falls right into the line of horse collar. We've identified a process for tackling that increases the injury to the opposing player. We have to do something about it. We have to stop this. You got guys blowing out knees and ankles and all kinds of stuff.
I just don't know how you
with
legislate
these hip
it.
drops.
I don't know how you legislate. I must ask the question. I feel like I ask this every year. How the hell am I supposed to tackle somebody? Could you just define to me what I'm allowed to do? Because you can keep making rules of what I'm not allowed to do. Could you explain? I mean, am I supposed to just grab onto him and hug him real tight
Yes.
and then lay him delicately on the ground?
Yes. But don't lift him to lay him down, because that is another penalty. That is unnecessary for you to lift and drop.
I can't pick him up. I can't lay on him to bring him down. I mean, are we going to put flags on him soon? Because
We
it
know,
feels like this where it's
we
headed.
know what this is all about, and every defensive player in history has bitched about it since
As well
Tom
they
Brady
should.
got hurt.
As well they should.
Of course
'cause
they
it's
should.
Stupid.
It's not the way it used to be when we were kids. But they want more scoring. They want the guys on offense to stay healthy because it helps the bottom of the bottom line. It helps keep people interested in the league. Because remember what happened that year with Tom Brady. He wasn't the only one. I think there were like 4 other starting quarterbacks that got hurt that year. And that's why we did this. That's why they started doing this rule and you know, the boop rule on the helmet and all of that.
Well, the boop rule is stupid.
Of course it is. But they started doing this because those are the ones that make the money. Those are the ones that get the eyeballs. We have to protect the ones who make the magic happen.
All right, so hitting the quarterback low, I understand why that's illegal.
Yes.
I have never understood, and I feel like I have to break this down this way every time we talk about the boop rule. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's that you can't hit a quarterback in the head.
At all. No contact, period.
So you understand they're wearing a helmet against a bare hand.
Yes.
I don't think you understand how helmets work. I also don't know if you think Bucky Brooks is the one that's hitting him, or Bucky, what's his name? Bucky something. It's not Bucky Brooks. Bucky Brooks works for NFL Network. What is this? The Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Bucky, I don't
It's
know. It's
Bucky
his last name.
something.
Yeah, it's Bucky
I
something.
don't know who you think is hitting these people with an open fist and it hurts a quarterback wearing a helmet.
He lost me for a minute there.
Oh, well, I said Bucky Brooks and I heard it.
And you started to say Bucky Rogers, and I went, well, that's
It's
Winter
Steve
Soldier
Rogers.
and the Captain America together.
Yes.
I mean, look, in some alternative Marvel universe, they may be husbands, but I don't think it's in this one. So Bucky Rogers is not his name.
Well, I mean, the only thing we have to hope is that it didn't get too close like Colorado State and Virginia because, you know, it'll rub off.
Yeah. Get a bad case of the UVA. Never win again.
Somebody's going to need an antibiotic. It's no doubt.
Somebody needs an antibiotic. And pretty much somebody's going to get fired.
Bucky Barnes. I knew Stephen Tao would be there.
There we go. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Appreciate that.
Did you look at any of the other rules? It seems like all of the same ones that they propose every single year.
It's the same old stuff. And
We go 4th and 20 to keep the ball.
Yeah, who cares?
Stop that. Please don't do that.
I've long thought that football is a game that we don't really need to tweak it all that much.
No, just stop.
It's good the way it is.
Stop boo-booing with it.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, we're good. Maybe I got an idea. I have a rules change to put in front of the rules committee. Can we stop actually convening the rules committee for 5 years? Let's just let it sort itself out. I mean, we're fine. We're good. I mean, there's some things I'd like to see. I do wish you could challenge a penalty because some of these penalties are really stupid. I do think it's funny Indianapolis was the team that opined that because, well, it did burn you. So I understand why you're a little upset.
You are in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Time to take another break. We'll come back after the top of the hour, continue the discussion here in the Sportsocracy. Yes, just to close the thought on that. Football's fine. Stop messing with it.
Oh, Joshua Penix said Bucky Barnes, too. They both said it, so give them both
points. That's points. You are in the Sportsocracy. We are live today from 51 North Merriman Avenue, the Village Porch. Come on by, hang out with us, enjoy all that they have to offer. Now, one more hour of the show to go after this. Yep. No. Take that out. Let me see where we're at here. All right. All right, we'll be back right at the top of the hour. Thank you. We are back in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 live on location today. 51 North Merriman Avenue. It's the Village Porch. You say, wait, but you guys are always there during football season. Well, yeah, they have basketball on the televisions as well, and today is, it's Christmas Day Part 2. Opening of the NCAA tournament yesterday. We had 16 games yesterday, 16 games today in the men's tournament. The women's tournament getting underway today as well, and we've got all of the televisions in the Village Porch all locked in on the NCAA tournament as now, right now, we have 4 games all underway for today's action. Florida Atlantic and Northwestern, Colgate and Baylor, UAB, San Diego State, and Marquette and Western Kentucky just getting underway to get the day in full swing. It is the best time of year. I love the tournament each and every day, each and every year.
I think the first 4 days are as good as sports gets.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And then the second weekend, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Is it the best ending to a season? Other than the Super Bowl?
Yes.
I agree. I think it is the best, which, earlier we were talking because, it seems to be a point of discussion that we're going to expand the tournament again.
Stop that.
Why? Why do we need to?
I don't need the NIT teams.
Again, it's like the NFL rules. Why are you messing with the rules? It's fine the way it is. Why don't you find us some referees that can actually, call the game the way it's supposed to be?
Oh, officials
and
are
then, all ball, baby. All ball. Sanford Bulldog fans ticked to high holy hell today.
Oh, yeah. The one of the guys I met up here last night, he said we should have a new segment on the show called How Is That Not a Foul?
Yes.
Because I said that about 100 times.
How is that not a foul? Yes.
How is that not
How's
a
that
foul?
not holding? How's that? Yeah. Oh, God. He gets crazy during NFL games. I can only imagine.
Hey, shut it. You're talking about the expansion of the bracket.
Yes.
I'm looking at the teams left in the NIT going, I don't need to see really any of you.
No.
Wake Forest and Indiana State, I would probably get down with that.
Okay, so we kind of – I think we teased this in the first hour, but we never really got to the actual discussion of it. So if you did expand the tournament, are we going to put in – the 16 seeds and then make the others fight it out to get into the tournament? Like the ones still get, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi.
Oh, yeah.
In the first round.
Oh, they'll always be in.
But to expand the field, then that would mean that we would have to go with all of the 10 seeds, all of the 11 seeds, all of the 12 seeds. All those teams have to play in.
That's where that would go.
That is stupid.
That's where that would go.
That is stupid to me. We're going to have all of these we're going to have the bubble tournament. Actually, now that I said that, it might make more sense. The bubble tournament to get in, no automatic qualifiers.
I'll pass.
So you wouldn't have NC State. Right? If NC State steals
the automatic.
The
tournament champions will always be in. You'd kill the tournament if you took that away. No, you would have all that. Basically, you'd have the NIT to play into the tournament, and that's just way more crappy basketball than I care to watch.
I would agree.
I don't need to see Bradley play their way in.
And I don't want you to change I don't want it to have to change the schedule because I don't want to end up with, the North Carolina Tar Heels say they had won the conference. We'll use UConn in this scenario. All right, UConn rolls through the Big East tournament. How long do they have to wait to play the first round game? If we're going to do the play-in. Right. If we're going to do this little play-in tournament, it's not going to be fair to ask those teams to play one, maybe two games to play into the tournament. And then they have to turn around one more day and play again. That's not going to happen. They need a couple of days off. So you're looking at an entire, week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, that UConn and these other teams would have to wait for that to happen?
Yeah, I'll pass.
Not going to happen.
I'll pass.
Nah, I don't see it happening. But if there is a way to make money on it, guess what they're going to do? Expand the tournament.
Well, there is a way to make money on it. It's with DraftKings Sportsbook. That's how I'm making money on it.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it all day long. And at the end of this hour, I'll give you a 4-legger parlay that pays quite a nice amount that you could be all over. And I'm going to.
It is the Sportsocracy. Enjoying the basketball today. But, as always, the NFL continues to be the most popular thing in the world.
Eat and sleep. Football asked for a
what does he want?
He wanted a top 13 defensive tackles. I think I can satiate that.
You just gonna whip that off the dome piece?
That's
All right,
what
here
I
we
do.
go. Draft from the season. Flostradamus at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene putting the old scouting hat on.
I'm not whipping it off the dome piece. I haven't finished it, so I reserve the right to change a couple of these down the line.
Okay.
The first one's not going to change.
So defensive tackles.
The first one's not going to change. Mm-hmm. It's Byron Murphy. He's just a house, and to me, I don't really – he's one of those players that the more I watch him, the more I go, you should go in the top 15. I'm not sure that you're going to, but you should. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think the class starts with him, and then I think there's a big gap. I know you don't feel that way.
No, I do not.
Because your two is who?
T'Vondre Sweat.
I
love him. I'm tired of apologizing for my love of him. I want us to be best friends and do karate in the garage. And whatever team gets him, I feel like there's a great chance that I'm going to order a jersey from whatever Wish website it is Tank gets his from to put in a frame in our studio.
There are two different styles of player here. Is the talent that discrepant? Is my question.
I hate when people ask a question like that because it's not really that simple. It's not as simple as I can just say it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a nose tackle, T'Vondre Sweat is the best one in this class, and it's not even close. If you're looking for an every down so if you're looking for a one tech, that's T'Vondre Sweat, no doubt. Zero tech, it's T'Vondre Sweat.
Yep.
If you're looking for a 3, then you get into the other guys that are more talked about in the first round. I feel like T'Vondre Sweat's the only one that I believe can play that one role that goes in the first 3 rounds. Might have McKinley Jackson late in day 2. Might have maybe Christian Boyd. Might have Miles Murphy. But, I've got 10 defensive tackles that are stereotypical 3 or 5 techs that I think will go ahead of him. Ahead of all of them.
Right. But Byron Murphy adds more as a pass rusher.
Byron Murphy is the best blend of being able to hold up against the run and bring you something as a pass rusher. Because T'Vondre Sweat doesn't bring you much as a pass rusher.
Right.
Jerzon Newton is so little that I'm not sure he's going to hold up against the run, although he did at Illinois. That's the fear, is that he's going to get to the NFL and he's just going to get washed out. Braden Fiskey, the same thing.
Yeah. I know. I guess I'm just trying to think of the last. I guess you said there was not a big difference between these two, so you would think that I would think that you, by saying that, Byron Murphy needs to go in the top 15. T'Vondre Sweat's not that far off.
Eat and Sleep Football has him has Sweat in the first round.
Okay. If he's not that far off, I mean, has there been a run stuffer nose tackle like that has been taken that high in the draft?
Vita Vea.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was.
I guess, and that's been what?
We had a lot of.
But is he on that level? Is he a Vita Vea level prospect?
I think he can be.
Okay.
I think he can be. Here's where the problem comes in. I don't think he's in as good a shape as Vita. Vita's a house, but I've never looked at Vita and gone, man, you are really big. Like, he's that big, but he doesn't look.
He didn't move like that.
He moves like he's smaller than he is.
Exactly.
And he can hold up to a snap count. The problem with T'Vondre Sweat is that I'm not sure he can. I'm not sure T'Vondre Sweat on his best days is ever going to play more than 35, 40 snaps a game.
Right.
And it's hard for me to say I'm going to take that in the first round. That's why I have Byron Murphy so clearly ahead of him. Because Murphy's a guy that I'm not sure you ever have to take off the field. Which is why I look at him. I looked at him with the Raiders until they signed Christian Wilkins because I thought that would solve that problem, but then they solved it. Eat and Sleep said Jordan Davis got taken in the first round. He wasn't taken specifically to be a nose. Jordan Davis was not of this world.
Yeah, he wasn't the run stuffer. I mean, yes, he can do that.
He brought more as a pass rusher than T'Vondre
exactly.
does.
And see, I guess that's what I'm trying to make click in my head of, okay, so if they're not that far off, why is Byron Murphy a top 15 prospect and T'Vondre Sweat is a top 20, 22 prospect? To me, it's the difference in what you can bring as a pass rusher, because that is the most necessary, most sought-after characteristic in that position.
Yes.
Right? Finding a good defensive tackle who can also rush the passer is way more coveted than just having that big guy to plug a hole.
Yes. Look, T'Vondre Sweat to me is a 3-4 nose. If you don't play 3-4, I'm not real sure how you're going to get to me the value of having him as a defensive tackle in a 4-man front. Because I don't necessarily think that he is rare there. I think he's rare as a nose. And so that's why I look at all these teams that run 3-4 and go, there's probably a team on the backside. I know Arizona, Red Sea loves the idea of and taking Murphy with maybe that pick if they did what we said earlier. You make the deal with Minnesota, you get their 2 first-round picks. Then you get Sweat and Murphy. I think Red Sea would come unhinged, who, by the way, also had Bucky Barnes. Just throw that out.
Good for
you. The
you.
chat's really little on my screen by comparison to what I'm used to, and I'm really blind. And I'm looking at a lot of people drinking beers around me, and I want to be one of them. So
we just want to be part of your world.
And we will be. We will be in just 47 U.S. minutes.
Indeed. Right now, though, we're talking Flostradamus' top 13 defensive tackles for the 2024 NFL Draft. This is the rough draft of the defensive tackle top 13.
It's not that rough. I mean, it's not done because defensive players, I tend to finalize rankings closer to the draft. And I don't really have a good reason for why I do that. It's just kind of how I've always done it.
No.
The offensive guys, it's so abundantly obvious to me that after the combine, I don't really care what you do at a pro day.
Number 1 is Byron Murphy. Number 2 is T'Vondre Sweat. Your 3 is?
Johnny Newton out of Illinois. My fear on him is that he did bulk up a little bit. So, and he's also coming off an injury. A lot of people see mock drafts of mine and they think I have him going too low. I don't. I don't. I think he's going to end up in the back end of the first round. And the reason that I think that is because my number 4 showed up at the combine. So, announcing his presence to such a level.
And at number 4, that is
Braden Fiskey.
Fiske. I knew that was going to be the one. Yeah, he did himself a lot of favors at the combine.
I heard a team with him earlier this week. We've had so many things going on. It's hard for me to remember what day it was. But somebody mentioned the San Francisco 49ers to me on him, and now I can't stop seeing that. They worked so hard on that line. They don't necessarily have the pass rushers that I thought, or that I would think with what you spent and how committed you were to that.
Yep.
I keep looking at them now and just going, that makes a good bit of sense to me.
Braden Fiske to San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay. Number 5.
Chris Jenkins out of Michigan. I loved his dad, and he's not his dad. That's one of the things that I think we have to get mentally okay with. And I heard somebody, or I saw somebody earlier asked about Brandon Rice and why we don't talk about him the same way we talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. or we talk about Chris Jenkins or any of these former players' sons, because he's not nearly as good as they are. I'll say the same thing about Brandon Rice that I said about Eli Manning. If his name was Brandon Smith, we'd be talking about him in the 7th round.
Right.
And I'm not sure it's that drastic. It's just this is a really good receiver class, and I don't see it with him. I very obviously see it with Chris Jenkins. And I can't get a good read, though, on where he's going to end up. I don't know exactly where he's going to fall in. And, by the way, if I consider Darius Robinson as only a defensive tackle, he would be somewhere in here. I don't. I see him and Brandon Dorrell as both as you're going to play end in some shape, form, or fashion. I just don't know where.
Okay. All right. So, Chris Jenkins, what, top half of the second?
I would say so. He's a top 50 pick to me. I don't see any way he gets past that. And I'm not sure that he doesn't get reunited with his former coach with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be a really good fit for what it appears they're trying to do defensively.
Or Seattle.
Seattle is one. I would have liked that better if they hadn't re-signed Leonard Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they had to take a defensive tackle in the early going without Leonard Williams. I'm not as sure that they have to do it with him.
I was going to say no chance that the Carolina Panthers spend their first pick of the draft on him.
Colin Greene said the Saints are in love with Sweat. I mean, you know my rule about cousin Colin Greene and Saints rumors.
He knows.
If he says it, yep, what he said.
Go check the odds right now. What are the odds on that New Orleans pick?
I'm still waiting for him to send me a number of what it would take for us to just employ him as our Saints insider. He's hit everything he's ever said. So I actually think low-key that he might be like Mickey Loomis. He's just he faked the name. He saw my last name was Greene. He went and infiltrated us. I don't really believe that.
Actually, be.
I know he hates Mickey Loomis, so I'm sure he's not going to love that I just said that.
Yeah, no, probably.
We don't really believe that. We think you know some stuff about some stuff, and we're not sure why, but we'd like to know why.
Number 6 in the top 13 tight ends. We'll get to that coming up after the break right here on ESPN Asheville. We are hanging out at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. We've got the basketball on the televisions. Everybody's got a brew except for us because that technically is against FCC regulations. So drinking water for now.
So if I put one in a water bottle, would anybody know?
Don't do crimes, Jeremy.
It's all clear glasses. I was just thinking for next time. I don't have a bottle that you can't see through.
The Village Porch, it is the place to be to watch all of the games in the 2024 NCAA tournaments. Come on down and join us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we are live on location, day 2 of the 2024 NCAA tournament. Games on all the televisions out here at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. Come on down and hang out with us.
Who's shocked? We have a officiating kerfuffle in northwestern Florida Atlantic. I do, however, have a sizable wager that there will be a buzzer beater before this tournament is over, and it's setting up like I might be right.
That's looking like a good candidate. 27.2 seconds left. Florida Atlantic's up by 2, 58-56 on 9th-seeded Northwestern. It's coming down to the wire. We could have our first fantastic finish of the day because we're definitely not going to get it from Colgate.
You know what you do get from Colgate?
What?
A tremendous toothpaste.
Yes. Yes, you do. And you can have fun throughout the NCAA tournament with the DraftKings Sportsbook app that is now live in the state of North Carolina, an official sports betting partner of NASCAR. Now you can legally bet on all your favorite sports anytime, anywhere, right here in the Tar Heel State with DraftKings. And for a limited time, new customers who sign up with the promo code WPEK and bet $5 will receive $250 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings, best features out there, same game parlays. They got live betting, player props, all of the things. You can bet on things like is there going to be a buzzer beater at some point. They got odds boosts as well to make it a little bit more interesting for you as the payout comes. And speaking of payouts, they're fast and easy and right at your fingertips. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now using code WPEK and bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code WPEK. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.in. 68 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC. NASCAR is not a sponsor of this promotion and used under license. We're continuing with Flostradamus's top 13 defensive tackles in the 2024 NFL Draft. As part of our Draftmas season coverage, we're to number 6 now.
This is where there's a big drop-off. In the previous, I don't consider Darius Robinson or Brandon Doralus, or there's a few others down the line. I don't consider them defensive tackles. They're almost like hybrid end tackles. Mm-hmm. So they don't apply here for me. My next one's Michael Hall Jr. I'm not really sure why we have gotten completely off of him since the Senior Bowl, but he was one of the most popular players in Mobile. Oh, here we go. We got 8 seconds. Come on, buzzer beater. Let's go, buzzer beater.
58-58. And not even close.
Why is it that the last 5 seconds of college basketball games, every player on the floor just seems like they go, I don't know how this game works anymore. I'm 6'1", he's 6'10". Let me shoot it right into his hand. Sorry.
It's overtime. First overtime game of the day, Northwestern and Florida Atlantic. Playing another 5 minutes, 58-all is the score. All right, continue.
I feel like Michael Hall Jr. got really popular at the Senior Bowl, and then he just kind of fell off the world, and I don't really know why. Those guys usually become great values because what it means is that you just didn't do anything through the interview process or through the scouting combine where you jumped off the page. Doesn't change what you did in Mobile. Mm-hmm. That just so happened to be the first leg of the draft this season. So I think he will be a value for somebody. I just don't think he's going to go nearly as high. I shouldn't have said there was a huge drop. He's the last one of the tier. The drop-off is after him.
Oh, okay.
I said that poorly.
Okay, so he is close to Chris
I've got him
Jenkins.
pretty close to Chris Jenkins. There's a little drop-off, but it's not gigantic by any stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a pretty sizable drop.
Okay. And who is at number 7?
I'm really bad at saying this kid's name. Rook Aurora Horo.
Oh, yeah, that kid from Clemson. Yeah, I don't want to say it. Or Horo.
Or Horo.
What does he do well?
I think he can – he's one of those raw pieces that I don't necessarily think we have seen what he can be. He's going to be a malleable fit. You just shouldn't expect much from him right away because I don't think he's ready to play. And I get into that with a lot of these guys. You've got Rook right here. The player after him, I'll go ahead and tell you, is Dwayne Carter out of Duke. They are the polar opposites of each other. I think Dwayne Carter's ready to play right now. I just don't know that he's ever going to get any better. Mm-hmm. I think he's kind of pegged. He's an older prospect in the first place. He was ACC Player of the Year, ACC Defensive Player of the Year. I just don't know that there's another gear for him. I think there is for Rook, and that's why I have him rated slightly ahead of him. It just kind of depends on who the team is. So if you're, and I'm just trying to spitball here, if you're a team like Cincinnati, who could really use another defensive tackle, I would go Dwayne Carter. Because I need this guy to play right now and be a good, solid, starting-level defensive tackle in the NFL. I don't necessarily need you to ever be a superstar. So on Cincinnati's board, he would probably be rated higher. Rook would be more somebody like Arizona. I don't need you to be a star right now. I'm curious what you can be 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then
you look a little surprised, like there's a name I haven't said yet that you.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to get to one specific name. We'll see.
Did he play at LSU?
Yes,
You're going to be waiting a minute.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Why?
We'll talk about it when we get
him
there.
So much. Anyhow, all right. Dwayne Carter at Duke.
I mean, I just think he is a very good all-around four-man front defensive tackle. I would like him in a rotational spot. There's really nowhere that I don't like him because I think I can find a spot for him no matter where we are.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that he has higher – I don't know that there's higher level to him than what I've already seen. I think he comes in and he is what he is right now.
All right, so number 9.
Leonard Taylor, the third out of Miami. He has not been coached well. There's just no doubting that. He's not been coached well. We haven't gotten the most out of him. There's a lot of growing that he could still do. He could also just completely bust out. So I think he's a third-round pick. He's a lottery ticket. And then we figure out where he goes from there.
Okay. Number 10.
McKinley Jackson. Texas A&M. I'll say this. I can't separate Leonard Taylor the third and McKinley Jackson much because I think they're the exact same guy. There is super, super talent in there. I just don't – they play two completely different positions. So I want Taylor inside of a four-man front. McKinley Jackson to me is a one technique. He could be a true nose, but I know he can play in a 3-4, and I'm completely fine with that.
12? Are we at 12?
11.
11, excuse me.
You're counting. This is Mason Smith.
There you go. There he is. There he is.
I'll go ahead and tell you the next one played at LSU too.
Makai
Wingo.
Yeah. Why don't you like Mason Smith? Because this dude is just. I mean, he's
also been super inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Mason's. I call these highlight reel players. If I only look at the highlight reel, he's first round pick. It's when I look at the actual coach's tape and go, I forgot he was on the field for extended periods of time. That's my problem with him. I think he has more of a name, and we want him to be better than he has shown to be.
Okay.
And that's why I don't have him any higher. I mean, look, he could be really good in the NFL, especially depending on fit.
Yes.
You know, where he goes is going to tell me a lot. I think he ends up on a smart, good team later in round 2 or maybe even round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on how the industry tends to view him higher than I do.
Okay. I mean, this sounds like a stats argument of, well, he didn't put up enough tackles or he didn't put up enough sacks. When you say he disappeared, at times. Does that mean he's getting washed out by the offensive line, or was this because Mekhi Wingo was getting a little bit more of the pub, or was it the other pass rushers were so good that he didn't have as much of an impact?
He got overshadowed a lot. And it wasn't that he wasn't doing good things. It's that he's not the one that's actually finishing the play. Mm-hmm. And there is a merit to doing the yaman work where you just go in there and do all the unheralded stuff. Yeah. And he does that.
You do all the little things.
I just feel like that beginning of the second round, and to me, that is insane. Mm-hmm. You're out of your mind. You're expecting him to be that guy. To me, for a defensive tackle to go in the second round, that means you got him right behind Johnny Newton, who was on a defense that was nowhere near as talented as LSU and was everywhere.
Yes.
What would he have done at LSU? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the ways that I kind of break down players is I've got Johnny Newton where every team that played them knew that's the best player on the defense. Couldn't block him.
Right.
Conversely, you got Mason Smith, who he might have been the second best player on the defense, but there were people that blocked him. Mm-hmm. And that was with Mekhi Wingo and all the other pieces on that defense. And that bothers me when I start talking about taking a guy that high.
All right, so does Mekhi fall into the same category?
Mekhi, to me, is a poor man's Braden Fiske. Because you also have the problem of, yes, you are hyper athletic. Mm-hmm. You're also really little. And I need somebody pretty big next to you. He's just a specific fit. And that's a lot of times where I get into guys, when they're at this point, it's not so much that I don't like the talent, it's that I only like the talent specific places.
All right, that was 11-12, number 13.
And the last one for me, and I don't love the kid, and I'm not going to hide it, it's Tyler Davis from Clemson. Mm-hmm. I think he'll be one of those guys like, I'm trying to think of a name here. Malik Collins is the one that came to the top of my mind. Of you're going to bounce around the league like a ping pong ball, and you're going to be a serviceable piece for years to come. I just don't think you're ever going to be great.
Yeah,
I don't see high level to you. You're safer than somebody like Keith Randolph, who I really like. I saw him at the Senior Bowl as well, and the good was really good. The bad was, oh yeah, you're here. I forgot you're here.
A couple other names that guys that we saw at the scouting combine that did not make the top 13 here. Fabian Lovett.
I mean, look, he's a Florida State guy. You know I love him. I think you're a rotational piece in the NFL.
Right. Miles Murphy.
He, to me, fits inside a three-man front, and there is good. He's super raw. But I've got a sixth-round grade on him.
And then Zion Logue from Georgia. He had a really good scouting combine.
He did, but it bothers me that practically everything I've ever seen from you was in shorts. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's practically no tape on him. So could he be a great talent? Yes. I just think he's coming in so unbelievably raw that kind of goes to the Arizona thing. All right, a team that's not great right now, you can take a low-risk flyer on him in the 5th, 6th round. I'm all for it. Conversely, I look at somebody like Baltimore. Okay, cool. He might be good in a few years, but he's not going to help you right now. And there are guys that can help you right now.
Florida Atlantic needs a little help right now. They're down 9 in overtime. That's hard to do.
We went from this could be my buzzer beater to and now you're just getting buzzer beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Owls will not be making a return trip to the Final Four. Looks like they are going to fall here. I mean, there's still 90 seconds left in the game, or just under 90 seconds left in the game. Northwestern with a 9-point lead, 70-61. In overtime, first round of the NCAA tournament. It's all right here in front of our eyeballs at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. Come on by, hang out with us, watch some football today. We'll be right back here in the Sportsocracy. Thank you. Skip crimes. No, sir. And we are back in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. We're live on the road today at the Village Porch up in Woodfin, 51 North Merriman Avenue, up in the Reynolds Mountain subdivision, mixed-use development, whatever you want to call it. It's the town square, basically, for Woodfin.
Yes, and I live right down the street, which is really helpful.
Yes, indeed. Come on by. This is one of our favorite places in town. They've got great food. They just brought me, and I want to see if I can get this on the camera here, the chicken and arugula salad with balsamic vinegar and all the things. Look, I mean, you can get all the great bar food like Jeremy's got here with the big pretzel.
Oh, I don't even like bread.
They've got cauliflower wings.
Oh,
they've got hot dogs. They have hamburgers.
They've got awesome actual wings too. I like the cauliflower wings.
The cauliflower wings are good. However, I can never say no to the mango habanero chicken wings.
That's probably what I'm going to have.
They're so good
for the next set of games.
Yeah, meaty wings as well. None of them little tiny pigeon wings that you might find at some other places.
Correct.
Box out. I'm so sick of that commercial, by the way.
Which one?
You seen that? The box out with the big buffalo guy.
No.
Yeah, he's.
I don't tend to watch.
No, that's right. I forget you watch with the sound down.
I do. Because I can't stand. And if I've learned anything during this tournament, it's a whole lot of, oh wow, Jim Jackson's commentating this. I remember when he played in 1997. Patrick Holt and Stephen Tao with the requisite club sandwich.
Club sandwich. Got to go with club sandwich. Is always good.
So I learned yesterday they have a hoagie roll that I didn't know about.
Okay.
I believe I'm going to get a club Sammy on that hoagie roll before this day's up.
Okay.
It looks
Is that like
divine.
a secret menu item that you have to ask for?
Hey, bro.
We
got our own club up here.
I mean, people need to know. If that's where the magic happens, we need to know the keys to the menu.
I didn't actually know they had a hoagie roll. I know it now, and I can't stop thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And in about 18 minutes, I'm probably going to have me one of them.
Indeed. There will be plenty of libations as well. Come on by and hang out with us. And, by the way, wear your favorite team's gear in for the game. Your team wins while you're here enjoying all of the libations and the food, then they will give you a discount for your team winning. You wear your gear in here, they will give you 25% off on all of your food that you have during said game. 51 North Merriman Avenue at the Village Porch.
Gambit fan asked a what I think is a legit question.
Mm-hmm.
He said, real talk, has there ever been a bad club sandwich?
I mean, it would depend on. I'm sure there have been places.
Oh, no doubt
that you could go to get one, but just the actual construction of the sandwich and the basic ingredients, no.
It's not that there's ever been a bad one. There's just good and real good, and this one is real good. So there's that.
Yes.
Stephen Tao said he'd be here 4:30ish. Let's go.
Awesome. Cannot wait.
Patrick Holt also disclosed that you now cannot renew your driver's license through the DMV online except every other time.
Yes.
Which means I'm good for 14 years.
Yes, because they want to stop things like what I did, which was I got my license when I first moved here in 2007, or when I first moved back to North Carolina in 2007. I got my license. renewed online and such, and then went this year and had to get a new one, it still had the same picture from 2007 on it.
So you had a picture of formerly fat Tank Spencer.
So I went from, super fat young Tank to not so fat old Tank in one shot, and they went, you know what, it's not going to work.
You can't do
we
that.
can't have people having the same picture for nearly 20 years on their license.
I went from looking like fat Luke Combs to looking like fatter Luke Combs.
Oh, how's that pretzel treating you there?
But you mind your damn business. How about that?
I just wanted to, let that out there.
Yeah, it's got the sweet salt on it. It's very pillowy, and they bring it with the beer cheese and the mustard, and I recommend putting them both on it. So how about that?
Which one goes first?
Mustard.
Mustard first.
Mustard dip in the cheese. Let's go. And enjoy the pillowy happiness.
Cannot do it the other way.
You could. I don't, but you could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know if that was something that you had worked out, that it needs to be. The mustard needs to be first because it's too rough on the palate if it's the first thing to hit the tongue, or just wondering if there was some science to that or just more BS.
Nope, just trying not to die of dysentery. That's it.
Yeah. Tyron Smith says the New York Jets have all the pieces.
He's right.
If
they can stay healthy.
Okay. I mean, I don't think he's wrong. But I feel like that's just another step to the disappointment that will be Jeremy Greene.
Well, I feel like we could do this for the daily draft next week of drafting the NBA Jam teams of NFL football.
Okay.
And it might be the blitz team of all right, we're going 7-on-7 here. Go offense, defense. How many teams in the NFL would you take defensively ahead of the New York Jets? One?
Yeah, maybe.
Cleveland's the only. And really the only discrepancy is I don't see a Myles Garrett playing for the Jets, but there is a Jermaine Johnson who I believe in quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask
But they
you.
don't have a sauce.
No, they have a Denzel Ward, though. I'm not going to say he's a sauce, but he's
fine.
He's good.
He's real damn good.
And Greg Newsom's real good when you leave him in the slot and stop playing him on the outside.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't tend to go well.
Right.
See game against Houston Texans.
Okay.
Now do the same thing on offense. Left tackle, right tackle, top two wide receivers, running back, quarterback. Tight end if it's Brock Bowers, which I'm getting more to the point of that's a foregone conclusion. Yeah. How many teams' top sevens would you take offensively over the Jets?
As long as you're healthy.
As long as
you're healthy. The problem is every guy you've got on the roster pretty much has a red flag.
Not all of them. Garrett Wilson.
I'm going to give you that. Garrett Wilson doesn't.
Brock Bowers doesn't. Breece Hall doesn't.
Give him a minute. He becomes a Jet. He immediately gets the tag of It's like that whole thing you were talking about with catching the UVA. I feel like we can catch the NYJ just as easy. Aaron Rodgers got it last year, and we all see how long that lasted.
That might be the meanest thing you ever said.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll take another quick break, and then we will return to close it out here on a Friday live at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue on ESPN Asheville.
Thank you.
We're here. And we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 12 to 3 every weekday afternoon right here on ESPN Asheville.
Some people have to be reminded of that from time to time.
Well, you know, it's just one of those things. I'm going to remind myself of that from time to time as well. We've got all the games on the televisions here at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. Come on down and hang out with us. The show is running down to the wire here, but the basketball is not. It'll be going on until, well, you know, after midnight tonight. So plenty of time to come on down and enjoy all of the festivities here at the Village Porch. So,
you know what I haven't given you from live here at the Village Porch?
Bangers.
It is bangers. I was also going to say we should ask Brian Hall what it would cost to have a kitchen put in at iHeart. Because it would be lovely for somebody to bring me a pretzel halfway through every show.
Yes.
It would really energize me. I think it'd be good for morale.
I think we should put that in the rider of our next contract.
No doubt. No doubt. And obviously, I mean, if you can see me as I am dressed out, I am actually Mr. DraftKings. I am the DraftKings. We're pretty good at writing contracts. I've got a 4-team parlay tonight. 4-team, just money line. No team that is higher than a 12 seed to win.
Okay.
And if you go to DraftKings Sportsbook, you use our promo code WPEK, you get your bonus bet. You get all the things. But you also get a 100% boost, 100% odds boost on anything you do college basketball tonight. And I used it on this here 4-teamer. And Tank, that took it from plus 1990 to plus 3980.
Let's go.
Which means when I put $20 US on it, if I'm right,
that's a big old number.
$816.18, friends. And all it requires is a Clemson moneyline win, a Texas A&M moneyline win, a James Madison moneyline win, Wisconsin's awful, and a Colorado moneyline win.
Huh.
$20 US to win, 816 US dollars.
There you go. All with the
Banger.
DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Oh, we have our first Pfeiffer sighting. This is the first Pfeiffer of the weekend.
Oh, that means it's just going to be a really good evening.
Oh, no doubt. Well, I mean, I was here. Well, that's not true. I actually saw so Georgie, the son of owner George. We call him Georgie to differentiate from George. See what we did there?
Yes, yes.
He was not here yesterday, but his sister was here. Megan, she served some lovely beers to me during the Carolina game.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you he will walk away when I say what I'm getting ready to say. The only thing that bothers me about the Pfeiffer family is that I'm always the ugliest one anytime they're around. Like they're so unbelievably attractive as people that you just
like, okay,
I sit here as 100%. Yeah, he's a shyman, and it always makes me laugh that he always runs away anytime I do that.
It's also kind of awkward, taking compliments on your looks from guys your size. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're real pretty. I don't know. I'm going to go.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I understand getting weird about that. If it happened in prison, this happened in a bar, I think you're fine.
Nope. Still a little concerning. Look, I'm not a pretty person, so I never get told that in bars. But if a guy as large as you came up to me and said, "Hey, you're real pretty," I'm pretty sure there's you want to wear some lipstick later coming, and I'm not a fan.
Oh,
not
boy.
A fan of that
we are two big dumb animals. I love that that's what we're leaving you with for the week.
How's that for a little exclamation point on the week that was here in the Sportsocracy? Yes, come on down to the Village Porch. Remember, if you wear team apparel to come watch your game and you win, they will give you a 25% discount on all the food that you order while you are here. Drinks not included in that. But come on down, 51 North Merriman Avenue. The Village Porch is the sports watching home of the Sportsocracy. Come on down, meet us. You can meet Stephen Tao. You can meet, beautiful Georgie over there. Whoever. It's the place to be tonight for the second day of the NCAA tournament.
So we were asked in the YouTube stream if we were going to stay live. So we got to take down the radio stuff. We've got to eat an actual meal because we've been come back for the night slate. Probably have the webcam up on our table, and you can watch with us. That starts at, 6:50?
Something like
I
that.
believe.
Yep.
HWA will be here. Stephen Tao already said he will be stopping by later on, so just come on down. 51 North Merriman Avenue. Have you a good old time, and tell them the guys from the Sportsocracy sent you.
Indeed, we will catch you back up with you on Monday to recap all the weekend's action and the latest in the NFL right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yep, it's all good. I just got you up to the top of the hour. You can just let it roll. Thank you for your help today, sir. As always, great job. All right. All right, take it easy. Come on down and have a beer with us if you want to. All right. There you go. That's going to be fun. Cool deal. Well, we'll see you Monday. Thanks, man.